Today we're out at the Fak'ugesi Lab, which forms part of the Fak'ugesi African Digital Innovation Festival happening in Joburg throughout August and September. Now in the lab, there are 4 technologists from around the world who are getting together to collaborate and create. We're about to see exactly what they're up to. The 4 technologists are occupying the basement gallery at the Wits Art Museum, which is also known as the Open Lab. Now in the lab, what's interesting is that their work will continue to change and evolve as public, tech and creatives get involved. The overall theme is Explore the Future of Johannesburg. And our very first stop is going to be with wearable technology artist Ling Tan. She's all the way from the UK, coder, designer. You've got quite a mouthful of titles.
Architect.
Yeah, come around and join me.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So, tell me a little bit about how you got so intrigued by wearable art.
I was trained as an architect originally, and then I went on to do a research in wearable technologies because I've always been interested in how people walk in space in the city and how they perceive the built environment through technology.
Right, so you've got quite a few gadgets on your station, shall we say. You've got a 3D printer, and there's also quite an interesting game that you've designed.
The game is designed for 20 participants to find tokens in the dark. So what it does is that it's constantly tracking your body movements. So
and it's a 5-minute game.
It's a 5-minute game.
And the pulses get more intense as the game goes on?
Yeah, so it's kind of like creating this biofeedback where people get more nervous as they try to find tokens. And it's a collaborative game where there's the light source from here, which you can see. The thing is that the more you move your arm, the dimmer the light. So you kind of have to find friends to collaborate with you to charge your power up. So it's kind of like a competitive, really like Hunger Game inspired kind of game.
Ling, I spy that you've got quite a few other things at your station. So how can public participate?
So the thing about my residency is that I really want the local participants to play with technology and to think about what they could do with it. So what they will be involved with is to make the technology. For example, they will be playing with things like pulse sensor, which is tracking the heartbeat of the user, and things like proximity sensor, which is tracking the distance. And the interesting thing about this is that other than doing that, they'll be playing with 3D printing, and we got this really cool gadget, which is a 3D doodler, which is essentially a 3D printing pen. So the fun thing is that they can actually draw anything in 3D space and just make it and wear it on their body. So that's going to be the fun part of it.
Oh, I love that. That's incredible. Ling, as a lady in tech, are you quite optimistic that this will even out and not be as male-dominated?
Yes, I am very optimistic about the industry. In fact, the residencies, there's 3 other female artists that's going to be doing this with me. So definitely optimistic about it.
Well, here's to ladies and the future of tech. Over and out. After the break, we meet Nathan Gates from good old SA to see how he fits into all of this. Nathan Gates, ripping for SA. So we're not going to be calling you a technologist, we're going to be calling you an artist. What are some of the hot topics that you kind of want to tackle?
Basically, I was looking a lot at when people think of future cities, they often think about smart cities and connected cities. But very often our Wi-Fi networks are closed, so they really are just they fill up space on our devices. So I was thinking about how could we make that fun and use the Wi-Fi as a material if we can't access it.
Wow.
So this is kind of a first-based attempt at looking at making poems with those Wi-Fi names, actually.
Okay, you're gonna have to break it down a little bit more for me, you know, amateur techie over here. So,
cool.
how does it come together?
Okay, so if you come around here, I'll show you on my laptop. So basically, these can act as Wi-Fi hotspots, and yet they all communicate as well. So I log into one as if it was a web page, and I get greeted with this very clunky looking interface that I've put together very quickly. And I've based it around the idea of exquisite corpse. Basically, You write in a poem, but phrase by phrase. You don't see what I write, and you extend it, and I extend, or it can be a group of people. So individual things come together to make one whole. That sometimes is quite interesting or insane. So basically what's happening is it's busy distributing the phrases to each device, and each one will start now broadcasting that as a Wi-Fi hotspot. And then if you come over here to my Wi-Fi settings, you'll see our final poem.
Oh, now I get it. Right, so it reads, the very large cat, large shoe horn that is always above sunshine and blue skies. Doris.
A large ocean, big deal, hey.
I love how it's just so different.
Yeah.
Well, watch this space and you have a poet on our hands too. Now, Ling Tan really wasn't lying when she said that there are quite a few ladies up in the house here. Now, Chipchumba, you're from Kenya. You have a background in online development, social media strategy, to name a few. What can we expect to see from you?
Well, actually, this is quite a unique experience for me. I'm used to being on the other side of digital art, which is curating. So I started this online platform to promote digital artists. So this experience is actually making me the digital artist. So the residency is like actually me coming outside of just curating and actually being in the process of creating and coming up with ideas. So it's quite like terrifying and exciting at the same time.
So you're definitely taking yourself out of your comfort zone in a sense. Now, one of your ideas is to help public or young people envision themselves in their future city, and you've kind of packaged it into meet your future selfie. Is that a selfie as we know it, or what are the tricks have you got up your sleeve?
Well, I've just realized that we are all sort of obsessed with this whole selfie culture of taking photos of ourselves and posting them on social media. So what I wanted to do was actually take the whole idea of the future of Johannesburg and the future of the city back to a very personal sort of engagement. So for me, it's really about recording a message, giving yourself the opportunity to speak to yourself in the future and maybe communicate something aspirational, or even just a critical thinking of where you think that city will be in the future.
Chipchumba, as somebody who I personally think has always got to have their finger on the pulse, what are some of your biggest technology obsessions right now?
I think the thing that always makes me excited is whenever new young people, especially from the continent, find new platforms that they invent. I think the most important skill for us to continue to have is the ability to learn how to code. For me, it's not necessarily a particular device, but it's more of like a movement to have more technology within the culture so we can actually make the internet for ourselves and to actually make and produce culture for ourselves that reflects who we are and also solves problems that we're having and experiencing.
Love your work, and I so look forward to seeing all the amazing things you're going to do in your future. And as she said, it's not just about technology, but creating a movement.